natural cottage cheese. Only Daisy cottage cheese will do.
So tasty, so pure. Can I have a little more? Only Daisy cottage cheese.
I'm Holly Madison.
Happening now.
Trial underway for a man accused of killing his best friend's stepfather. We'll take you inside the courtroom as testimony gets underway.
Michigan voters are headed to the polls today, and how they vote right now could tell us a lot about the GOP primaries going forward, but also about how the war against Hamas is affecting the Democratic vote in that state. Next.
It's soon back to jacket weather. Say hello to a cold front tomorrow morning. I'll talk about its impacts on temperatures and if there's any hope for rain in just a bit. The news at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, conflicting testimony as a murder trial gets underway today. Kevin Osborne fatally shot last year at the hands of his stepson's best friend, Rudy Pardo.
Our Eric Hernandez in the courtroom as the testimony began to contradict itself from what happened at the time of the killing to today.
Like that, right in front of you? Okay.
Orion Herrera showing the court how he racked his gun the moments he and his stepfather, Kevin Osborne, got into an argument. Herrera says that Osborne was aggressive in his tone and pushing his chest up to his. Herrera says his friend Rudy Pardo had a gun too, but fired the deadly shot after Osborne punched him. This all taking place on February 19th last year. The state says after having an argument with his wife, the 53-year-old Osborne went to go get his mother-in-law and bring her to his home. But he was instead met by his stepson Herrera and his friend Pardo.
My mother had informed me that Kevin was on his way to drag my grandmother out of her house.
But the state implying that Herrera never told police that and didn't mention it during his statement he gave days later.
I believe I did.
I believe you did.
Mm-hmm.
Does it surprise you that you did not?
No.
In another instance, Herrera tells the jury that Pardo didn't touch Osborne until after the shooting.
Rudy never put his hand out and touched or bumped or pushed, even if it was accidentally, Kevin.
Before the punch, no. After the punch, yes.
The state says that Pardo actually admits to bumping into Osborne. Osborne reacted by throwing a punch at him, and then Pardo fired the deadly shot. And finally, when Herrera is asked if he ever talked to Pardo or the defense after the shooting to discuss the case, he said yes.
You didn't state on May 20th that it's our game plan?
I don't recall.
And you recall talking about self-defense?
Yes.
Now, this trial is expected to last for a few more days here in the 187th District Court. If found guilty, Pardo is facing up to life in prison. At the Kidena Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Now to a violent night across San Antonio. Multiple shootings and cuttings sending several people to the hospital. We're going to start here on Caribou Creek near Woodlake Parkway. Around 3 this morning, a man shoots off about 14 shots after confronting 2 people he believed were burglarizing his vehicle. He tells police his security system alerted him that things were moving in front of his house. When he went outside, he says he found a suspected car burglary first inside his truck. Then he says the suspect seemingly started running towards his front door. The car owner, who did not want to show his face, says he reacted to defend his family.
I wasn't trying to take someone's life for personal property or anything like that. It was pitch black. I couldn't see what he had in his hands. All I know is he raised his hands as it was coming towards me, so I began to fire my weapon.
The suspect hit in both legs, but police say he was able to get in a getaway vehicle driven by another suspect. The wounded suspect ended up at a neighborhood hospital about a half-mile away. Officers say the injuries were not life-threatening. The shooting is under investigation.
Now to Coleman Street, not too far from the Fort Sam Houston gate on North Walter Street. The scene of another shooting that sent 2 teens to the hospital. One of them shot in the neck, but both should survive. Investigators say a 15-year-old victim says he and the other teen had just walked out of the house right before 11 o'clock last night when he heard gunshots. His friend fell to the ground. Then seconds later, the other teen realized he'd been shot in the back. Police say that one of them managed to get back inside of the house and call for help. Both teens taken to the hospital. Police say neither victim was able to give them a description of the suspect.
Instead of a gun, police say a machete, the weapon of choice for a man who they say attacked a man he believed was cheating with his wife. That happened about 11 o'clock last night in the 1800 block of Mossy Creek, close to South Ray Ellison Drive on the southwest side. Police at the scene told us the husband and wife are reportedly separated, but the husband showed up at the home and found the other man and his wife together. They say the husband swung that machete and hit the victim's wrist, cutting down to the bone, almost taking his hand completely off. The husband detained by police. The victim was taken to the hospital in serious condition.
And about an hour before that, in the 400 block of Lindaloo Drive near South Hackberry on the southeast side, police say a gunman opened fire on a man at his own home. Police say that man hit in the foot. According to the investigators, the victim got into an argument with several other people that were there. Police say the victim demanded everybody get out of his house, and that's when a 19-year-old apparently shot him. Officers say the shooter got away in a dark-colored sedan. So far, that suspect has not been arrested.
The border will definitely be taking the political center stage this Thursday when President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump expected to visit South Texas. Also heading to the border, San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. He's scheduled to meet with the president. Mayor Nirenberg's face-to-face with President Biden will be in Brownsville. We're told they will discuss the government's efforts to address the influx of migrants at the Texas-Mexico border. It's an important conversation that needs to happen considering the number of migrants that have come through the Alamo City seeking assistance. We're going to have crews on the border this Thursday covering President Biden in Brownsville and former President Trump in Eagle Pass. We'll have more on Mayor Nirenberg's meeting with the president tonight when we speak to the mayor during our Q&A segment coming up on KSAT 12's 6 o'clock news. It is primary day in Michigan, a key 2024 battleground state. Tonight's results will tell us a lot about Republican primaries to come as Donald Trump and Nikki Haley go head-to-head in a state that neither's been able to spend much time in.
And as for the Democratic vote, it could be a lower vote total because of a push for Democratic voters to mark their ballot as uncommitted, as opposed to just casting their ballot for President Joe Biden. Julia Benbrook with how powerful this protest vote might be in a state that Biden won last election.
The Michigan primary is testing both parties. On the Republican side, former President Donald Trump remains the clear GOP frontrunner.
We are going to win, not me, we.
But his last major primary opponent, Nikki Haley, is determined to stay in the race, meaning Trump can't shift his full focus to a rematch with President Joe Biden.
It's about letting people know, do we want more of the same or do we want something different? More of the same is Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
On the Democratic side, Biden faces his own political test. Some Michigan voters, including Arab and Muslim Americans, are looking to put him on notice, using their votes as a form of protest against the president's response to the conflict in Gaza.
We feel completely neglected and just unseen by our government. If you want us to be louder, then come here and vote uncommitted.
Representative Rashida Tlaib, the first Palestinian American woman to serve in Congress, and more than 30 state and local officials are among those who are demanding Biden support a ceasefire. They've pledged to vote uncommitted and are urging others to do the same.
Our threshold is 10,000 uncommitted votes because that strategy is based off of the numbers that Trump won in 2016 against Hillary Clinton.
The results of this ballot protest could offer clues as to whether Biden's handling of the conflict could cost him votes in this key battleground state in November. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
And here's a reminder, early voting in the Texas primary is now underway. Early voting running until March 1st. That's this Friday. Election day next Tuesday, March 5th. We have more information on voting locations and a sample ballot that you can look at right now on our website at KSAT.com. And we've got some breaking news for you as well today. New at 5, a former Judson ISD band director found guilty on child porn charges today. Mark Mallow guilty on 20 counts. Mallow was teaching at Wood Lake Hills when he was arrested in August of 2022. He now faces up to life in prison. You can read more about his story right now on KSAT.com.
In today's health headlines, the Food and Drug Administration announcing there are some sterilization concerns surrounding some eye care ointment products. prompting a nationwide recall. It's affecting multiple brands from Brassica Pharma Private Limited. The FDA says those were sold at Walmart and CVS. The agency says they may not be sterile, and that could cause health problems for some people because medicine that goes through the eye can avoid some of the human body's natural defenses. Among the products included in this recall, Equate Lubricant Eye Ointment and CVS Health Lubricant Eye Ointment. Brassica officials say they haven't received any reports of injuries caused by these items. Consumers advised to take the ointments back to the place of purchase for a recall. Now, to check the list of products affected by the recall, you can check out the FDA's website.
Type 2 diabetics who need to control their blood sugar may soon be pointed toward bariatric surgery instead of just medicine. That is according to a brand new study. Bariatric surgery, also called weight loss surgery, commonly involves reducing the size of the stomach. This study looked at people with type 2 diabetes who had the surgery and those who tried to treat the condition with just medication. Most doctors only recommend weight loss surgery for type 2 diabetics in patients that have a body mass index of 35 or higher. This new study may support lowering the BMI threshold. It found 51% of surgically treated participants had full remission of their type 2 diabetes a year later.
All right, let's look ahead to tomorrow. Happening tomorrow, a free health fair. University Health hosting the event that is focusing on heart health. It's happening at the Texas Diabetes Institute on South Zarzamora from 9 in the morning until 11:30 in the morning. Those who attend can get free blood pressure and glucose tests and even learn how to perform hands-only CPR technique. You can also take a no-cost heart risk assessment. Plus, you're going to be able to talk to an actual cardiologist. Your heart and vascular health questions during a Q&A session will also be heard. The event is tomorrow. It's free. You do have to register, though. You can go to university.com and click on that icon that says View Classes and Events, then search for the Heart Health event. I want to check out TransGuide right now and take you to a very tight shot at I-35 in St. Mary's. It's the exit there, and it looks like they're cleaning up something that was, I don't know if there was an accident here or exactly what's happening, but it's a very tight shot. There were crews out there just moments ago actually cleaning up this area. I believe it's shut off. This is I-35 at St. Mary's. I'm guessing it's the St. Mary's exit off I-35.
Another spring-like day today, 66 in the morning, whereas the average is 48, then 84 in the afternoon, and that's 14 degrees above average. Notice the record high, 90 degrees set back in 1918. 95 in Talia's backyard in Eagle Pass right now, 85 Kerrville, 86 Floresville. We're feeling the warmth out there, but don't get used to it. Micah right now, 84 Lavernia. By this time tomorrow, we'll be close to 60 degrees. There's a temperature roller coaster that's coming. I want to talk about our cloud cover overhead. Just like yesterday, these high clouds are streaming overhead, and they should make for a good sunset. They're a little too thick for my liking when it comes to a sunset, but still should be good. Maybe not the best sunset, but it's still a good idea to get outside between 6:30 and 6:50 p.m. to get a glimpse, see if you can get some good color bouncing off the base of those high clouds. A warm evening, temperatures falling through the 70s, some patchy fog later on tonight. We'll talk about the cold front when it hits tomorrow, when the wind picks up, and what the temperatures will do in just a bit.
Good deal, Adam. Thank you. If you're in the market for a brand new vehicle, Consumer Reports might be able to help you find your next set of wheels. Their list of this year's picks is out. From SUVs, trucks, and cars to EVs and hybrids, we're going to show you which brands and models that made this year's list. Here's what we're working on for the news at 6. It's a training program for communities of color to spot and accept treatment for mental health issues. Its leader tells us how this education can have a ripple effect and even addresses historical trauma.
And engineers at San Antonio Southwest Research Institute harnessing the power of hydrogen to develop engines that could fuel cleaner and greener trucking operations. The technology being pioneered, as we said, right here in San Antonio. We were given an inside look at the project. We're going to show you how hydrogen engines may be more economical versus electric options. That and more on the news at 6.
If you have the itch for a new car, Consumer Reports' annual list of top picks is out, and it could come in handy. They test everything from gas mileage to how easy it is to install a child's car seat.
12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz says this year's list includes a lot of hybrids.
One word stands out for Consumer Reports' top 10 picks: electrified.
4 hybrids, 3 plug-in hybrid electric vehicles or PHEVs, and 1 EV. That's significant because it shows that the market has shifted towards electrification and that these models can best their gas-only competitors.
So here goes, the Toyota RAV4 Prime. The plug-in hybrid gets 42 miles of electric-only driving before the gas motor kicks in. CR says it's quiet and smooth, and it goes from 0 to 60 2 seconds faster than the gas-only version. Need a midsize? Toyota's 3-row Highlander hybrid is the pick, and it gets 35 miles to the gallon overall. Subaru rules the compact SUVs. The Forester and redesigned Crosstrek have secure handling and a wide range of safety features. Next, the redesigned Toyota Prius has more horsepower. The plug-in Prius Prime version gets 39 miles of pure electric driving and 43 miles to the gallon when the hybrid engine kicks in. If you're thinking truck, CR says the Ford Maverick and Maverick Hybrid offer a lot of the function of a truck, but at a fraction of the size and cost. And the cab is roomy. For a mid-sized car, another Toyota. The Camry Hybrid got top marks for reliability.
It also performs well in our fuel economy tests, gets 610 miles per tank of gas, and earns a sky-high road test score in our on-track evaluations.
If luxury is your style, CR's top pick is the BMW X5 and the X5 plug-in hybrid. And for a sporty drive that won't break the bank, CR's pick is the Mazda 3.
Finally, their top pick for an all-electric vehicle is the Tesla Model Y. They like the quick acceleration, and it has access to the Tesla supercharger network. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Take a look outside with live cam. Turned out to be a really nice afternoon, and almost felt like summertime. It was so warm out there.
And it did, because I was doing yard work earlier today and sweating through my clothes with the humidity back in the air. Changes are on the way. You're going to have to dress differently over the next few days. So let's get right to our high temperature trend. Tomorrow we'll be down in the 60s, and I think most of the day will actually be closer to 60, but technically 65 for the high temperature in the afternoon. Look at Thursday, only 52 for the high temperature. That's the warmest we'll get. Sweatshirt, jacket weather all day long on Thursday. Then by Friday, we rebound quickly back into the 70s, even approaching 80 degrees this upcoming weekend. So a little dip in our, a big dip in our temperatures just around the corner. It's because of the cold front that hits around and shortly after sunrise tomorrow morning. Look at our readings now. 91 Carrizo Springs, Laredo 95, 80 Kerrville, 81 New Braunfels. And you look at the very top of the screen, you can see the edge of the cold front. It's through Guymon, Oklahoma right now. 48 in Guymon, but 72 in Amarillo. Not that far away, but a big temperature difference. And here's a look at the temperatures behind that cold front. This is a real deal cold front. Temperatures in the teens as you get into Nebraska and further north in the plains through the Dakotas, and even some single digits up there in North Dakota as well. We're not going to have any freezing temperatures, but we will have a big drop in our temperatures. Winds are howling too, ahead of and behind that front. Actually, in the panhandle of Texas, we've been seeing wind gusts approaching 60 miles per hour today. More on that coming up at 6 o'clock, along with some of the fires up there near Amarillo that the winds are fueling. But let's talk about our futurecast for winds tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start this at 4 a.m. Not bad, 10 to 15 mile per hour gust, but by 7 a.m., our winds are gusting between 40 and 50 miles per hour. So at the bus stop in the morning or at sunrise, just be prepared for the gusty wind that's going to last through most of the day, and then pump the brakes a little bit as we get a little closer to the afternoon and early evening. Rain chance is still pretty low. Thursday at 20%, a few sprinkles. Then we get into Sunday and Monday, and a few pop-up storms could happen, 20 to 30% there. Here's the big picture, and I want to show you quickly this area of energy that's near Southern California, that's going to head our way and gives us that slight chance of rain. A few sprinkles on Thursday. More on that coming up at 6. But tomorrow, look at our temperature trend. At 6 a.m., 66. By 10 a.m., we're down to 56. And then we rebound back to 65 tomorrow afternoon. And then Thursday, the chilly day of the week.
Wow. That's a lot to keep track of, Adam.
Up and down. All right, so the Spurs about to wrap up the rodeo road trip, and it has not gone well.
It hasn't. They're 1-7 so far, but no biggie. They're finally going to be home soon enough. So that's the exciting part. They play in Minneapolis tonight. What Zach Collins says the team's mindset is entering the finale coming up. Plus, D'Amico Ryans had a phenomenal draft last year, drafting C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson Jr. But how does he plan to approach this year's draft? The San Antonio Spurs will be looking at the long rodeo road trip in the rearview mirror soon enough after their Western Conference battle tonight against the first place Minnesota Timberwolves. The Spurs beat the T-Wolves at Frost Bank Center in late January 113-112, so anything can happen. San Antonio heads to Minneapolis fresh off of a big loss in Utah, dropping to 1-7 on the rodeo road trip. Inconsistency has continued to plague the Spurs. At this morning's shoot-around, veteran forward Zach Collins talked about the team's mindset entering the rodeo road trip finale.
Trying to get a win and do whatever we got to do to get a win and the road trip. Obviously, it's been a long trip. We got to go home for a couple days after All-Star break for practice, but it'll be good to get back in front of our fans. So we're looking forward to that, but we got to finish strong. When you're on the road, like you spend more time with your teammates than you do when you're at home for sure. You know, your family's not here, your friends aren't here, so it's just you and the guys. So you definitely get closer. That chemistry gets built. And we just learn how to get closer, learn how to play through adversity. I mean, I don't know how many games on the road it is, but you know that always makes you mentally stronger. So we definitely learned a lot.
The Spurs are back home Thursday, but first, tip-off versus the Wolves is tonight at 7. It's incredible to think about where the Houston Texans were this time last year to now. The biggest differences are C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson Jr. entering the picture. Today marks day 2 of the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Texans' D'Amico Ryans in his second Combine as head coach talked with the media today and reflected on last year's draft and shared how he plans on following it up.
Wow, that was an exciting draft last year to be able to get two of the top players in the draft class last year, to get CJ and Will and 2 anchors for our team, for our locker room. That was very important for us to get both guys. How do we follow that up this year? We continue to add guys who fit the Texans culture, and that's guys who are made of the right mindset.
Also exciting, the Texans head towards free agency with ample cap space. We'll be right back.